Hello, and welcome to In the Know. This is the podcast where we talk about all things property. My name is Dominika Bator, and I'm a buyer's advocate with Henderson Advocacy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to keeping you in the know. Thank you so much, Jane, for joining us this morning. I'd love to run through a little bit about yourself, Chadwick Real Estate. I know you're one of the top performing female agents for the Upper North Shore, so it's an absolute privilege to have you on today. I just wanted to deep dive a little bit, currently the lockdown that we're in, wanted to understand how you're finding it personally and how the team is finding it at the moment.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm like everyone. It's tough. It's not easy. It's definitely impacted us, like me personally, as well as on a work front. At home, I've got several people trying to run their businesses from our house. I'm homeschooling one. And so it's a challenge. There's a lot of us in the one house and difficult. But, again, that's where we're so lucky in this area, Upper North Shore, we have, and Turramurra. There's so much space around, and we've got, area to each go out, make our phone calls, do that sort of thing, and not be on top of each other. So it's great. And work-wise, like we've seen a lot of changes with how we do our business. We have a lot of restrictions in place. One-on-one inspections has been a challenge. I think one of the hardest things is, as a vendor, what do they do when we're at their house for 4 hours, showing people through by private appointment? It's really tricky. They can't just go to a coffee shop. I think everyone, all the vendors are getting very fit. They're going on massive bushwalks.
I just bought a spin bike recently. Funny you say. I was never a spinner up until lockdown. So funny you say that.
Yeah.
And I've seen that you've been keeping busy with Jane's ISO cooking with Chadwick, and your Instagram's popping off. How's that going?
Yeah. Oh, it's been great. We just wanted to do something a little bit different. Everyone's at home, and sometimes it's nice just not always being about real estate, just having something different. And we actually we went walking, and Amy and I dropped off recipes and herbs and spices and things to different clients. And we've been cooking, they've been cooking, they've been sharing. And so much so that I actually received last night, someone in the country has been following me and has asked me to send everything. Yeah. And has asked me to send the herbs from Gavut's house, which is incredible. It's great. And she said, it's been so much fun following you. So it's good.
That's amazing. Well done. I think, Anna, you've kind of hit the nail on the head. I think particularly with lockdown, and obviously this discussion is predominantly about real estate, but I think we tend to forget that it's real people in a real lockdown. And it's, yes, there's buyers and sellers, but end of the day, like you said, there's people their whole life is shifted in terms of, down to your day to day. To your point, what do they do when there's someone going through a private inspection? You can't just go and sit down. You probably wait in the car or go for a run or something like that. It's a whole different landscape than it is now.
Yeah. No, it's definitely changed. And, all of us, we are all having to operate predominantly from home. Our offices are all closed. So it's also really hard staying connected to the whole team. We have four offices and just staying connected. So we're doing regular things as well with the team, obviously all virtually by Zoom, but it's been fun. We have weekly drinks sessions, virtual drinks. We did a team. We had a really fun team trivia night on Friday night, and there was strict instructions, no Googling, and that was really fun. And just so that people know that we're all still together, still acting as a team, even though we're not actually physically seeing each other all the time.
Yeah, agreed. And from what I've seen, the team has had quite strong results, even though we have been in a lockdown.
It's incredible, actually. We do live in a great area, and I think at the moment what we're seeing is so many people are loving the fact that we have the land, we have the lifestyle here, We also have that, great network of transport. So we've got, the train system and buses and things. So people are moving. We're seeing quite a migration from even from inner city out just for the space. And at the moment, we're fortunate that there is huge prices happening because of the lack of stock. So there's these hot buyers, as you know all too well, hot buyers desperate to purchase, and you guys are so busy. We feel for you guys because you're probably frustrated because you want the properties and there just is not enough stock. And I think that's where our buyers have to really be, going to someone like you and talking and getting prepared and having their finance all ready to go, so that they're in a position to purchase.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. To your point, we've been chock-a-block back to back in terms of buyers that have essentially come out of the woodworks like we saw last year. We've noticed there's been a shift between people that were on the fence and thinking about buying, and now they're seeing essentially a 50-50 split from what I've seen of people that are like, okay, we've learned from last year's lockdown when people pulled back and then we saw pent up demand and an increase, versus the other half that's still sitting on the fence. And to your point, the prices are going up and up and up, and there's no crystal ball to say, will they keep going up? Will they drop? Will they plateau? Nobody knows. So I think we say this to our buyers all the time. If you're financially ready, if you're mentally ready, let's nail down what the market's doing, what's feasible for you personally, and then go out and find that for you.
That's right. I think sometimes we can't put our life on hold. If you need to make that move, if you need to downsize or upsize for more space, whatever it is, you can't just put life on hold and wait for the prices to drop or whatever the case might be. You really need to act now. And as far as selling, definitely everything's selling and selling for good prices in this area. So it's just that there isn't enough stock.
Yeah, for sure. And for Turramurra specifically, have you seen a big shift in price, as an example, this time this year compared to, say, last year? Have you noticed that growing steadily?
Yeah, absolutely. The growth. I mean, we're very fortunate. We're in a bit of a bubble. Turramurra definitely is in a little bit of a bubble where we don't ever suffer too much when prices drop, but we have definitely seen an increase this year. And again, that's fueled by the lack of stock. We've had some great results. I mean, in Ku-ring-gai Avenue, like the best street in Turramurra, we've had a couple of the highest sales for the suburb and in the last 12 months. And that's been amazing. I mean, those properties in those streets around that area, there's a few heritage homes as well, large land, tennis courts, swimming pools, and there's been a lot of demand for that type of thing. It's all about the lifestyle.
Yeah. And look, I'm not surprised. Turramurra and the Upper North Shore itself, I mean, I'm a local myself, and it's just such a beautiful part of Sydney to be part of. I'd love to know, what's the ideal home that people are searching for? I know you mentioned there's quite luxurious estates and heritage homes and tree-lined streets and you name it, pools, tennis courts. Is there kind of like a stock standard thing that you've noticed people are searching for, or have you found it's a case by case?
We can't believe, Dominika, how people used to search for swimming pools and things like that. That doesn't happen as much anymore. They're searching for, again, a bit of space, land. They definitely, home office or study is just like realestate.com are always telling us that is coming up in the search all the time for property. So any house that's kind of already set up with a study or a home office, or has the ability for one bedroom to be perhaps turned into that, huge, adds a lot of value. And I think, there's different pockets in Turramurra. We are really lucky. We have North Turramurra, which is young. There's a lot of young families there. There's a very good primary school, good shops. But then there's also a pocket of North Turramurra that people downsize to. There's quite a few retirement villages and over 55 living. And so people stay in the area and move sort of from their large family home to a facility like that. And then we have sort of South Turramurra, which is a little bit more affordable than East Side, and a lot of families moving in there, a lot of new homes being built. So land is has become, a lot of people are searching for land to knock down as well and build their dream home in the area.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on demographics. That was one of the questions I had in mind for you, was given the current landscape that we're in globally and within Australia, obviously migration's changed and people's lifestyles have been completely overhauled. And to your point, there's upsizes, there's downsizes, there's people shifting around from north, south, east, west. Have you found that that's changed since last year, or is this something that you've seen for a while?
Look, I think we always have people upsizing and downsizing within our area, but I have noticed, like across the board, a lot of our open homes, there seems to be more people moving from out of area to our area as well. Of course, there's also an element of overseas buyers who are purchasing to live here, but why not? It's so good here. I don't blame them. And that's why I live here.
And how long have you been in the area yourself?
Oh, I have lived in the area all my life. So grown up here, my parents, my grandparents, everyone. So I'm most definitely a local. And I've been with Chadwick for over 10 years now, and that company has been, is a family run business that has been in the area for 60 years. So we're a very established business, and a lot of people recognize that brand in the area in Turramurra.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the main reasons I reached out and was super excited to speak to you. I think there's a lot of obviously real estate agents and everyone's quite good at what they do, but I love having conversations with people like yourself that know the ins and outs. They know the local cafes on the corner. They know, this person on the corner and this neighbor. So it's a very wholesome community. And I think it's definitely shown from the chat we've had today.
Oh, we're so lucky. Like we've got some great coffee shops. We've got quite good wine bars, restaurants. We're lucky, and I think unfortunately we can't go to most of them at the moment, but even now it's kind of nice to support the locals, and I think that's our area is very much about that. Everyone supports local. They're doing it tough at the moment, and it's really nice just going in and getting a takeaway where you'd normally sit down perhaps and have your coffee, but just to support them now, go and get a takeaway coffee and go and get a meal instead of going to the wine bar. Get a meal from them, and it's very evident around here.
It's lovely to see. I think everybody's rallied together, and to the point we made earlier, there's buyers, there's sellers, there's businesses, but at the end of the day, it's all people just kind of sticking it out together.
Absolutely. I can't believe how many people are walking at the moment.
I know.
You go out for a walk.
People that have never walked in their lives are now walking suddenly every day.
It's really interesting, yeah. And taking over the streets, like
I know.
They're all on the road as well as on the footpath. Yeah.
It's wild out there. And so one final question for you. Like I mentioned, there's a couple of buyers that, some are keen and some are sort of on the fence. Do you have any top tips from your perspective in terms of buyers that might be thinking about going ahead, how to assist them on that journey and the search, and any tips from your side of things?
I think preparation is key. I think they really need to be prepared. We hear all the time, and I'm sure you hear it, Dominika, I missed out again. But I think sometimes people start the search too soon as well. They haven't got themselves prepared properly. They haven't appointed a conveyancer or a solicitor that is going to help them with the process, checking their contracts through. They haven't actually got their full finance approval. There's so many little things, or they have their approval. They haven't worked out what they're going to do as far as the deposit goes. So I think get everything ready, preparation, do your preparation, reach out to as many agents as possible, deal with someone like yourself, a buyer's agent. I think that is key as well. But don't put it on hold. If you really want to move, then just and be bold and go for it. I think it's a good time. There is some really good stock out there. There's just not enough, but there's some really, really good stock. But who knows? I mean, there might not be a lot more stock coming. We just don't know. We don't know. So I would say if you see something that ticks the boxes, go for it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So it sounds like preparation is key. And if you're ready to go, just go ahead and start searching.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jane. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's really, it's really nice. And I think getting out and getting a bit of information out to people is always, helping people is always good. So all good. Thank you.
And it's lovely to put a face to the name because we haven't met face to face yet. So it's nice to kind of see. We've spoken on the phone a lot, but I haven't actually seen you. So it's lovely to meet you as well.
It's a pleasure. Likewise.
This is general advice and does not take into account your objective situations or needs. You should consider if this advice is suitable to you and your circumstances. Please read any applicable PDS beforehand. Thank you for listening to the podcast.